morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of history, or recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting and important happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you don't even know you have. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History. What happened to this Today in History?
Historical calendar on this website, onthisdate.com.
For links to those sources, the music in the background, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Xander.
So him.
And you, viewer, today is Tears' Day, aka Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. We are now in the month named after the Roman Emperor Augustus. Octavius, I think, right?
Yes, Octavian, later known as Augustus. Yes, correct.
Oh wow, so it was, holy crap, I didn't even realize we're going to be talking about him right off of the shoot. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
In 30 BC, Octavian, later known as Augustus, enters Alexandria, Egypt, bringing it under the control of the Roman Republic.
Yep. Before they became an empire.
Yes.
But, that makes me wonder, is that why August 1st lands on this date? It's not that this is when he entered Egypt. Did he revolve the month he named after himself off of, like, essentially the end of the Ptolemaic rule of Egypt and the beginning of a whole nother, chapter?
Maybe.
Because, that would make sense to me. Because Alexandria, as we know, was made under the Macedonian Empire, ruled by Alexander the Great, and then after his death, his empire was split into like 5 different factions, I think. All of his generals, Ptolemy being the one who got Egypt, and of course, what's her face, Cleopatra was the last Ptolemaic dynastal person, and then she offed herself.
Yes.
History is amazing.
Yes, it is. Also, 527, Justinian the First.
Oh, we lost him. 527.
Hiccup. No, it's just a hiccup.
Oh.
527, Justinian the First becomes the sole ruler of the Byzantine Empire after the death of his uncle Justin.
Justin the First. Huh. So just Justin and Justinian the longer name one. Huh.
Now he didn't want to be called the second, so he put Ian in it. It's like, dude, just add your middle name.
Dude, I wonder if that is actually like, maybe you're onto something.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I'm just messing with the audience. Like, dude, just put in your middle name. That would be ironic if his middle name was Ian, though.
Huh. That would be interesting.
Okay. Also, 649, Pope Martinus the First, chosen successor of Theodosius the First for 87, August 7.
Oh, okay. Alright, I didn't even realize the August 7th thing. And we're going to move on up to 1086, the Domesday Book, and we spoke about this a little bit prior to the show, and I'd like you to repeat what you discovered and what you told to me. 1086, results of the Domesday Inquiry presented to William the Conqueror in Salisbury. The date of compilation and the Great Domesday are historically contestable. So, what was it that you said? The Domesday, or as it was in the Old English, would be
Domesday, aka the Doomsday Book.
Yes. And you're reading off of a wiki, right? Do you have the link for me still?
Yeah, I can put it up right now for you.
All right, that'd be great.
DM it to you.
I should have asked that before. Yeah. Right. While you're doing that.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got a DM from MTM. Oh, okay, he's watching Tony Robbins' live stream. Okay. We're going to move on up here to 1096. The People's Crusade, led by Peter the Hermit, arrived at Constantinople with 30,000 followers. That's quite a bit of people. In 1291, Everlasting League forms. This is the basis of Swiss Confederation, their independence. All right. Cool. Gonna move on up to 1498 here. We have Christopher Columbus landed in South America for the first time near the mouth of the Orinoco River in modern-day Venezuela. All right. You there, Sohan? Okay. So there he is. Oh, I guess not. Anyway, to 1639, French Ursuline nun Marie d'Incarien arrived in Quebec on board the St. Joseph, went on to open the first school for girls, and play a large part in establishing Catholicism in New France. All right. 1701, a Huron chief Kondiaronk urged First Nations people to sign a peace settlement with France, and he died the next day. This results in the Great Peace of Montreal. I wonder if he was offed or anything. And actually, I just got a DM from Sohan. Here we go, the Domesday Book. All right. So let's see. The Middle English spelling of Domesday Book is a manuscript record of the Great Survey of much of England and parts of Wales, completed in 1086 at the behest of King William I, later known as William the Conqueror. The manuscript was originally why can't I talk? The manuscript was originally known by the Latin name Liber de Wintonina, meaning Book of Winchester, where it was originally kept in the royal treasury. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle states that in 1085 the king sent his agents to survey every shire in England to list his holdings and dues owed to him. All right. I'm going to add that into the underbar of the description, post-stream, of course, as per usual. But yeah, so that's the Domesday Book, however you want to say it. We also have 1715, the first Doggett's Coat and Badge race, Waterman's Race, held on Thames River, London Bridge to Chelsea. All right. 1720, South Sea bubble reached a frenzy in London as the stock price of the South Sea Company peaked at £1,000. It collapsed soon after and fell to £124 by December. Yikes! That is a massive loss right there. Wow. 1774, English chemist Joseph Priestley discovered oxygen by isolating it in its gaseous state. Alright, the discovery of oxygen. Before that, people couldn't breathe. Much like before Isaac Newton discovered gravity, humans could fly. 1780, Sweden declared neutrality. Yep, and I believe they've been neutral ever since. And like a lot of people, like, as I've said to a lot of people, I mean a lot of people throughout my life, you can't be Sweden. The only reason why Sweden can be Sweden is because of geographics. You can't just be neutral as a person. Unfortunately, fence sitters are just as bad, if not worse, as bad people, because, you know, not doing something against badness is possibly worse than the badness itself. So, anyway, I see that you're back, Mr. Sohan. You want to take surrender at Yorktown here in 1781?
Sure. 1781, British Army under General Cornwallis occupies Yorktown, Virginia.
All right. So yeah, so that's we're gonna be seeing that. When was Yorktown? Hold on a second. When did Cornwallis surrender? September 28th. So it's gonna be about 2 months now. But this is when. It looks like they're going to be digging in, and then pretty soon the French are going to come on their ships, and then this is the end of the revolution here, the beginning of the end. Got another one here in 1785. Actually, both of the 1785s. Oh, looks like you're AFK again. 1785, Caroline Herschel became the first woman to discover a comet. Cool. And while that was happening, French naval scientific expedition ordered by Louis XVI, led by La Pérouse, with 220 men, departed Brest. They were later lost in the Pacific in 1788, 3 years later. Yikes. 1789, U.S. Customs began enforcing Tariff Act. What is Tariff Act? Let's look that up here real quick. No, no, dang it. Hold on a second. I just copied what I wanted to paste over. Tariff Act. Copy, paste. That's 1930. This is 1789. Alright, well, we don't have the time to go down this rabbit hole, but if anybody watching this would be so kind as to delve into that information labyrinth and educate us in the comment section about what the semantics of this specific Tariff Act is, that'd be fantastic. As for us, we're going to move on up to 1793. France became the first country to use the metric system. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. That's cool. 1794, Whiskey Rebellion began in western Pennsylvania. Huh. Wonder what that was about. And we also have, oh, welcome back, Mr. Sohan. Are you here again? Are you actually here?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to take this 1831 here?
1831?
Yep.
Sure. 1831 London Bridge across the Thames open to traffic.
And London Bridge has a really interesting history. A very wealthy U.S. Entrepreneur or something. I don't know who it was, but somebody bought the London Bridge, thinking it was a tower bridge, and had it shipped here brick by brick and rebuilt out in Arizona, of all places. So this very same London Bridge is now out here on the west coast or the western region of the U.S. In Arizona. I don't know exactly where in Arizona, but it's being used. It's not just like there. It's actually part of the road infrastructure. So that's pretty wild when you think about it. And how much money do you have to like, you know, ship something like that brick by brick? And you know, you want to talk about that road, the Hearst Castle. You know, that was the same thing. It was something that was literally torn down brick by brick from Europe, shipped over here and rebuilt out here in California. And I've been there. It's really interesting. But let's move on up to 1834. This is a big one.
Yes. 1834 Slavery Abolition Act. 1833 comes into effect, abolishes slavery through the British Empire.
Yep, and I believe this is what I've spoken about, that this damn near completely collapsed the entire country. And it wasn't until 2004 or 2014. I know it's one of those two. I want to say 2004. But up until that time, there are people still paying off the debt that was created by abolishing slavery. And that's something that nobody ever talks about. You know, a colonizing, you know, empire ruled by white people abolishing slavery all the way back in 1834. And they only acknowledge that when they want to, you know, take a crap on the U.S., trying to say that the British are better than us because they did that before we did. Well, stupid. Anyway, we have a Darwin returns to Bahia in 1836.
Yes. 1836, as part of their homeward journey on the HMS Beagle, Charles Darwin returned to Bahia in Brazil.
Ah, all right. Let's see here. 2 years later, 1838, apprenticeship system abolished in most of the British Empire. Former slaves no longer indentured to former owners. Huh. Okay. But why did they also get rid of apprenticeship? Because, like, that would greatly help out the younger people in this nation, especially out here in California. Like, internship is still a thing. Why can't you be an apprentice? It's the same thing, but instead of working in an office, you're working a skill. So, I don't know. Because instead of working for money, you're working for knowledge, and then once you have the knowledge, then you go off and you know, make your own system. So, we also have in 1852, San Francisco Methodists established the first black church, Zion Methodist. Okay. 1855, Castle Garden in New York City, now known as Castle Clinton, it's concerning, opens as first U.S. receiving station for immigrants. All right, that's pretty cool. And Mr. Sohan.
Yes.
1861. Yeah.
Brazil recognizes the Confederacy.
Is that the Confederate States, like the CSA?
Not.
Well, let me check that because that's during the Civil War. Brazil recognized the Confederacy. Following U.S. announcements of its intention to establish an official blockade of Confederate ports, foreign governments began to recognize the Confederacy as a belligerent in the Civil War. Great Britain granted belligerent status on May 13th, 1861, Spain on June 17th, and Brazil on August 1st. So it is the Confederate States. Huh. Well, I thought so. 2 years later, Little Rock. Oh, the next one right there.
Yep. 1863, Battle of Little Rock, Arkansas, starts of Chattanooga campaign.
Yeah, I don't know why I love that name, Chattanooga. It's like an old car, like an ooga. And then 1867.
1867, black vote for the first time in U.S. election in the South. Tennessee.
Hey! Tennessee. All right, good. Like, I was born there, so that makes me a little bit more proud of my state, despite knowing some horrible things about it. We're not all bad. 1881, U.S. quarantine station authorized for Angel Island and San Francisco Bay. And of course, quarantine, if there's something that happens in another country or whatever, people are immigrating from there, like, oh, hey, no, go into quarantine, make sure, you're fine. We don't want all that crap here, yeah. Smallpox, that was a big one. And we also have in 1883 a papyrus offered to the British Museum for £10,000, but it was found to be a forgery. So somebody trying to cash in on some quick money there. And while that was happening in 1883 as well, Amsterdam's Grand Hotel Krasnapolski got electric lights. Dude, like, how... Because, like, this is going to sound weird when I first start this, but you'll understand. So, like, when I was a kid... Like, you go to exciting places. There's new inventions and all that stuff. And even when you're an adult, like, there's excitement and whatnot. But how cool would it have been to, like, go to a hotel that is like one of the first hotels in the world to have electric lights? That is mind blowing. Yeah.
They probably would have thought that would be futuristic.
Oh, that is the future. Like, I mean, hell, like. Just yesterday, I got my mind blown. Within 53 years, we went from the first practical train track, which was made of wood for horse-drawn carriages, to connecting the east and west coast of the continental United States within 53 years. 53 years. That is staggeringly fast. I can't even understand it. And today's world is even faster. Like. Anyway, let's get back to you, Mr. Sohen. The first Michelin guide. Here we go. And I had no idea, like, really the two were linked, but now I do for sure. 1900.
1900. The first Michelin guide is published by the brothers Erod and R.J. Michelin as a hotel and restaurant reference guide to encourage more road and travel, thus boost the tire sales. Exact date beyond August 1900 unknown.
So they have it down to the month. So, but that's pretty interesting. Like, you think about, like, the Michelin star guide for the restaurants, like, like the hoity-toity, the most affluent, the best flavors. There's waiting lists of like 6 months to a year to more than that. And it all revolves around the damn Michelin tire company. What the hell? How are they involved in restaurant? Why? But,
stop, eat, get your tires fixed.
Yep. Anyway, the one right after that, 1901.
1901, burials within San Francisco city limits prohibited.
So no more graves. They ran out of room.
Someone must have been paranoid of zombies.
Probably. And then the first 1907.
Also 1907, first scout camp opens in Brownsea Island in Poole Harbor, Dorset.
Now I think that's Britain, because I know that the Boy Scouts started in the UK. And then we later got the Boy Scouts of America over here. And really, honestly, between the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the Hitler Youth, any paramilitary youth program, it's all the same.
Well,
like,
no, you can't compare the Hitler Youth to that.
Well, I mean, like, politics aside, it's the same generalized idea as the foundation. Like, indoctrinating children with a certain ideology and mindset. So.
Also, 1900.
We got another one here, actually, 1907 too.
Also, 1907, U.S. Army Signal Corps established a small aeronautical division.
All right.
Flying division.
We got a Tour de France thing 2 years later, 1909. Francois Faber of Luxembourg became the first foreigner to win the cycling classic. All right. And 1911, Harriet Quimby passed her pilot's test and became the first U.S. woman to earn an Aero Club of America Aviator certificate. So the first pilot license for a U.S. woman. That's really cool.
Nice.
And while that was happening, Omar Bradley, at the age of 18, began education in West Point Military Academy, later to become one of the most decorated generals of all time, especially in World War II.
Did he have a tank named after him?
Actually, it's an infantry fighting vehicle.
He got a vehicle named after him.
Yeah, the Bradley, of course. Just as Abrams had the Abrams, Patton has the Patton, Sheridan had the Sheridan, Sherman, William Tecumseh Sherman, he was the Sherman, which is pretty cool. A Civil War general, his namesake went on to a World War II weapon, war machine. That's interesting.
Yes, it is.
Let's move on up to 1914. Back to you, Mr. Sohan, the Russia ones.
Sure. 1914, Emperor Wilhelm of Germany declares war on his nephew, Tsar Nicholas of Russia, in World War One.
Oh, wow. Huh. And I thought my family problems were bad. These guys are declaring war on each other. Oh, God.
Yeah.
And well, two more 1914s right after.
Yeah. And 1914, France and Germany mobilized their troops at outbreak of World War One.
Yep.
At outbreak.
Yep. War declared.
Yeah. In 1914, Marcus Garvey and others formed the Universal Negro Improvement Association with Jamaica, with the aim of creating black governed nations in Africa.
All right. 2 years later, 1916, Hawaii National Park formed. All right. 3 years later, 1919, Queen Wilhelmina opened the first airfair in Amsterdam. What is an airfair? Like an air show or something?
Sounds like an air show.
Airfair.
Unless they're doing a fair at 30,000 feet in the air.
What is this? BioShock Infinite?
Oh, God. Yeah. Don't tell me that's what you got.
No, well, there's one here. Did they have planes in 1919? I know that they do. That they did. I'm just going to go on a limb here and say yes, it was an air show because you think about going to the fair, you go to, there wasn't really the concept of an air show back then, so I guess they would have called it an air fair. But once again, another challenge to our viewers. If anybody wants to go down that rabbit hole and educate us in the comment sections, please do. Am I right or am I wrong? Or what is it? But we gotta move on up here to 1922. In Italy, the socialist Alianza del Lavoro declared a national strike which collapsed immediately, and fascist forces destroyed Union and Socialist headquarters. And Benito Mussolini is going to be coming to power soon. Keep an eye out for that, actually. Because this is he seized power in 1922, and we looked it up not too long ago, and it's coming up. So. Let's move on up to 1927, some music history, I believe. Actually, hold on, earliest date for film. This one here, the first 1927, if you don't mind, Mr. Sohan.
1927, the earliest date for a film to be considered for the Academy Awards.
Huh.
I don't even say the film's name.
Yeah, that's kind of bogus. You got another 27 here.
Also, 1927, influential country music group the Carter Family makes their first recording with producer Ralph Peer in Bristol, Tennessee.
All right. And then 1932.
1932. George Washington quarter goes into circulation.
All right, yeah, the little $quarter, the coin, with George Washington's head. So wow, as far back as 1932. I wonder if we had a quarter before that and what it looked like.
1933, death penalty for anti-fascist Germany.
Yep, Once again, I seem to say this in every show. As a historian, I'm looking around at what's going on in the world today, and I'm just quietly crapping my pants constantly, just knowing what's coming. Not good. 1933, the National Recovery Administration, NRA, not to be confused with the National Rifle Association, was founded by Hugh S. Johnson as its first director. Okay.
And second, the NRA is the Rifle Association is a bunch of idiots. I support the Second Amendment. I'm just not as stupid as they are.
Well, I don't really know much about them. Like, I really don't care. Like, all I know is I have a constitutional right to own and bear firearms. So.
But that's not the part they like. They don't like.
What?
They like. They don't like the other part.
What's the other part?
We can legally overthrow them.
Oh well, you're talking about just the system, yeah. So.
Yeah, that's the part they don't like.
Oh, of course, that's why they're trying to disarm us. But yeah, that's a conversation for another show. We got to keep to history here. 1936, the 11th Summer Olympic Games were opened by Adolf Hitler in Berlin. Yikes! Wow. So this is after the death penalty. This is 2 years. Wait a minute. When was the death penalty? 33. This is 3 years after they did that. And wow.
And don't forget who attends that Olympic Games.
We're talking about
Jesse Owens.
Yeah, thank you. I thought it was Owens something. Yeah, Jesse Owens. You know, like showing Hitler who the real superior race is.
Man, yeah, but you know what? I'll talk to you later about something.
Yeah, 1941, the first Jeep is produced. All right, we all know the Jeep. Yeah.
Yeah. Good company.
Yep. Back to you, Mr. Sohan. 1942, the first one.
1942, American Federation of Musical Laborers Union begins a strike over royalty payment disagreements, refusing to perform on commercial recordings. Ban lasted over 2 years.
Wow.
That reminds me of something going on with the Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah, you know, right now it's not just the writers, but actors now, including voice actors and stuff, are starting to get in on this, and like Hollywood is collapsing, and it should, honestly. You know, with other things I don't really want to talk about on the show involving miniature humans. So.
Also, 1942.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Nazi German occupiers demand listing of all Dutch telephone subscribers. Okay.
First 1943 for your third one.
Also, 1943, Japan declares Burma independent under Obama.
Huh. That's weird. Why would they declare them independent? And well, they obviously have them under a puppet government, but that's, yeah. Huh. Japan playing the political shenanigans game, I see. I'm going to move on up to 1944. Adam Clayton Powell Jr. was elected as the first black U.S. citizen congressman from New York. All right. And on a somber note, while that was happening, Anne Frank's last dire injury was put in. 3 days later, she is arrested, and she doesn't make it, unfortunately. Spoiler alert.
No,
so.
She didn't get caught when they yelled Marco. She did not yell Polo.
No, she got caught when Peter was eating chips.
Now, I can tell you why she got caught. I appeared.
Damn it, Sohan. Anyway, 1944 as well, Polish resistance fighters of the Home Army launched the Warsaw Uprising, the largest military effort undertaken by a resistance movement in occupied Europe. Alright, yeah. Power of the people. Rise up. Let's see here. Let's go on into 45 here. You got a baseball record.
1945, New York Giants outfielder Mel Ott hits historical 500th MLB home run off Braves Johnny Hutchins, joins Babe Ruth and Jimmy Fox as only players to reach milestone. Oh, also,
all right.
1946, U.S. President Harry Truman establishes Atomic Energy Commission.
The AEC, yep. Which go see Oppenheimer. Anybody who hasn't gone and done so, go see it. And if you can afford it, or if you're on the fence about affording it, I say go for it. Go to the IMAX. It is an experience. They portrayed Truman though as a real asshole though. Like,
maybe he was.
Yeah, it was just like spoiler word. Like I want to say something about the movie. Do you mind, or like do you want me to not say anything?
I don't mind.
Okay, so spoiler warning to anybody else watching. So just like turn me down until for like next 15 seconds. So there's this one scene where Oppenheimer is in the Oval Office with Truman here, and he's saying like, oh, I feel like I have blood on my hands. I built these bombs that killed like hundreds of thousands and stuff. And then Truman just pulls the handkerchief out of his lapel and like waves it in Oppenheimer's face and says, I ordered the bombs to be dropped. All you did was built it. The blood's on my hands. And then as Oppenheimer was leaving, Truman's just like, don't let that crybaby back in here. It's like, what an asshole. Like, if I was there, I would have been, Mr. President, with all due respect, if it wasn't for this guy, you wouldn't have had the option to have the blood on your hands. So, cause and effect. You're both in this. But anyway, spoilers over. Let's get back into the history here. 1948.
1948?
Yeah.
The United States Air Force Office of Special Investigations is formed. Ooh.
All right. 2 years later, 1950, American Bowling Congress ended all-white males rule. Good. What the hell?
Bowling's boring. They could have kept that.
Yeah. Like who really cares? But like, good. Like
it's like every time I go to bowling alley, I go for the arcade. I don't go to bowl.
Yeah, I don't like bowling. It pisses me off. Like, it really does.
I know there's a lot of people that find it, therapeutic, but I do not.
No, it enrages me.
So like golf, I'm sorry, I want to see people who play golf. I think they have extreme patience because I do not.
Now, golf is one thing. Mini golf I'd like to do. Like, that's something that's in my wheelhouse right there. But anyway, 1950 as well, Guam Organic Act established Guam as an unincorporated U.S. territory. All right, that's weird. Like, once again, the game of politics. It's called the Guam Organic Act. What the hell does that title have anything to do over like who is in control? Like of the nation itself. Like they always put in those little things in the bills at the end because nobody reads these things, and then it passes, and suddenly strawberries are unhealthy or something. I don't know. Stupid crap. But what are you gonna say, Sohan?
Strawberries aren't unhealthy if you try to eat a large amount, you could choke.
Well, also
yeah, continue.
Oh yeah, 1953. California introduced sales tax for education.
So this is the people we kick in the whoever made that, we need to kick in the nuts.
Yeah, well, you need a kick in the nuts and a foot so far up their ass, toes sticking out of their mouth.
No, kick them in the nuts so hard, their descendants will feel it when they reach that age.
Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to make that joke. I'm going to move on up. 1953 as well, Fidel Castro was arrested in Cuba. All right.
Yep, he was trying to do something, and he got arrested.
Yep. And I'm going to take this next 53 here just to round that up. Northern Rhodesia became part of the Federation of Rhodesia and Nyasaland. All right. And let's get back to you, Mr. Sohan, in 1954, the first one, and this just screams apartheid.
South African Natives Resettlement Act comes into what the fuck? Okay, South African Natives Resettlement. Why can't it be South African Native Settlement Act? Comes into begin. Empowers the government to remove Africans from any area in and next to the magistratal district of Johannesburg. That's
apartheid right there. And then the first 55. Well, you're AFK again.
Also, that my dad had a burger from Burger King.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, what year?
First 55.
Okay. In 1955, the first microgravity research begins. That sounds interesting.
Ah. Well, 2 years later sounds interesting as well. The first 1957.
Also, 1957, first commercial building heated by sun, Albuquerque, New Mexico. So no air conditioning.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, you're in New Mexico, like, you just exist. Like, what does that mean? Heated by sun, like specifically solar panels, but like.
No heat, no insulation. It's just straight up hot box.
Ah.
I'm joking. No.
I mean, you're not wrong. Like, maybe, like. Yeah, like.
Pounds. For no apparent reason, like sweaty.
Yikes. If anybody watching this wants to go down that rabbit hole, tell us the semantics about that in the comment section. That'd be fantastic. But you got a baseball record here in 57 as well.
1957, Gil Hodges hits his 13th MLB career grand slam at a Northern League record at the last ever by a Brooklyn Dodgers player. Yeah, because you go to LA afterward. Probably.
Okay, yeah. Okay, oh, yeah, I never thought of that. That's right. The Brooklyn Dodgers don't exist anymore. Now they're out here. But yeah, that's all cool and all. But by the way, NL is National League. But that's all cool. Why did they highlight this and not the one after it? That's more significant.
Okay, 1957, U.S. and Canada create North American Air Defense Command, NORAD.
Why is that not highlighted? Like, the baseball one, as I said, okay, cool, but this is more important. Like, in the next, well, here at 58, actually, I'm going to take these two 58s. First U.S. class postage stamp went up to 4 cents, had been 3 cents for 26 years. Wow, that's a long price. But while that was happening, U.S. atomic submarine USS Nautilus began the first transit of North Pole, Operation Sunshine, in which they went under the entirety of the North Pole completely submerged. And why that isn't highlighted as well escapes me, but once again, this source is notoriously left-leaning in its actions, not really in its policies, but in the way it presents things and highlights things, signifies some things over others and stuff like that. Anyway, let's see here. 1960, we got a music recording, Aretha Franklin's first recording session for Columbia Records in New York City. All right. And there's two more 1960s, so I'm going to take those really quick just to wrap that up. 1960s, well, Benin, or Dahomey, gains independence from France. All right. And Islamabad declared as a federal capital, or as the federal capital of the government of Pakistan. Yep, Islamabad, Pakistan. Yep. Now let's get back to you, 1961, the one after the highlighted cricket, because who cares about, why is cricket highlighted?
1961, German DR limits traffic to West Berlin.
Yep. German Democratic Republic, I believe, is what DR is, or...
Yes.
Yeah, so... Yeah, that's the Russian side. 1963.
1963. Arthur Ashe becomes first African American tennis player to be named in the first Davis Cup team.
All right. The one right after that.
Which one?
The next 63, the Beatles.
So, 1963 Beatles book is sold out on its first day of sale.
All right. We're moving on to 1964. ALM Antillean Airlines began operation. I wonder if they're still even around. Antillean Airlines.
Maybe.
Let's check that out, because Japan Airlines is still around. Antillean Airlines. Okay, yeah, ALM. They're still around. Oh wait, no, they're not. They ended in 2001. Okay. Well, I'm going to add this wiki into the underbar as well, just if anybody wants to, like, read up on this now defunct airline for whatever reason. But what else do we have here? 1968, Canada began replacing silver with nickel in coins. All right. That devalues the coins, but, the value is what we put upon it. And then you can, like, put that silver to better use elsewhere. And 1968, Cleveland Metro Parks began operating the zoo in Cleveland, Ohio. All right. Let's get back to you with some music history. Actually, if you don't mind, do you think I can take this 1969? Because I just love rattling off names.
Go ahead.
All right, 3D Atlantic City Pop Festival opened at the Atlantic City Race Course in Hamilton Township, New Jersey. Performers included Procol Harum, Joni Mitchell, Chicago, Santana, Little Richard, Booker T and the MGs, Sir Douglas Quintet, Janis Joplin, Jefferson Airplane, B.B. King, The Byrds, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Tim Buckley, Hugh Masekela, Dr. John, and the Mothers of Invention. Attendance was estimated at 110,000 people. That's a lot of big names in there, yeah. I mean, Little Richard, B.B. King, Santana? Like, wow. That's a lot of good big names in there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get back to you. We're going to move on up into some the comedy hour here in 1971, some TV history.
1971, Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour debuts on CBS TV with comic actor and singer Jimmy Durant as guest.
Huh. All right. Oh, you get your own concert here. 1971.
1971, George Harrison benefit concert for Bangladesh. 2 shows take place at Madison Square Garden, New York City. Performances include Bob Dylan, Ringo Starr, Ravi Shankar, Eric Clapton, Billy Preston, and Leon Russell.
All right. And once again, Bob Dylan, I want your hat. You got another 71. Wow, we're just stuck in 71 here. Oh. 1971, Richard Petty won the Dixie 500 in Atlanta, Georgia, to become the first NASCAR driver to win $1 million in career earnings. Yeah, Richard Petty, one of the greats. 1 year later, we have the first article exposing Watergate scandal by Bernstein and Woodward in the Washington Post. Occurred in 1972. And then 1974... China's People Liberation Army Navy put into service Changxing 1, their first nuclear-powered submarine. Oh, yikes. Oh, pardon me. 1975, 35 countries, 33 European nations, Canada, and the U.S. signed the Helsinki Final Act agreement concerning boundary integrity, human rights, and economic cooperation. 1 more year later, 1976, the 21st Summer Olympic Games held in Montreal, Canada, officially closed. All right. 77, former Lockheed U-2 pilot Francis Gary Powers crashed the news helicopter as he was flying in Los Angeles, and I have a feeling he was taken care of, so to speak, because that was a guy who got captured by Russia, right? He was the guy who got shot down. Yeah, he's best known as the pilot of the U-2 spy plane that was shot down over the Soviet Union in 1960. And so, like, you mean to tell me that he flew at the time, world's fastest aircraft over a hostile nation, survived getting shot down, survived being there, got back here, but a news helicopter crash took him out. I don't buy it. Speaking of helicopter crashes, there's a whole lot of, things involving the Kobe Bryant stuff, but I would advise go to the channel You Wouldn't Believe Me. He does a video about that. He also has his own Discord server too. Let's get back up into the news show, the history show here. 1980, Mr. Sohan, I see you're back. Do you want to take, let's see here, the third 1980, the one right above Endless Love?
1980, Gerd Wesson of East Germany becomes the first male to set a high jump world record at the Olympics.
Which was 2.36 meters or 7 foot 9 inches in Moscow. And we got some Endless Love here in 1981. The Endless Love single released by Diana Ross and Lionel Richie. Billboard Song of the Year in 1981. Billboard Greatest Song Duet of All Time. It is a good one, and I think that's the same one that they had in that Adam Sandler movie when they were on the ice rink.
Yes. No. That's something else, I think.
Okay. All right. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. If you don't mind, can you take the next three? 81 music video, and then the next two after that.
81 music video. Okay. 1981 music video cable channel MTV debuts US at midnight with the Buggles song "Video Killed the Radio Star."
Video killed the radio star.
After also 1982. After the first 13 runs of the Midsummer Classic, Darrell Waltrip becomes the first driver to win the Talladega 500 twice.
Nice. I want to go back to this video kill the radio star thing, though. Like, it's really interesting. I didn't catch this yesterday, but we will be talking about MTV2 later on. And I think there is a music video out, or there is a song out there, "The Internet Killed the Video Star," or something. So, but let's talk about some more sports here in '82.
1982, American Greg Louganis becomes the first diver to score 700, 500, .67 in 11 dives, and winning third springboard gold world championship in Guayaquil, Ecuador.
Huh. All right. 1982 as well. Heavy Israel air bombardment on Beirut. Once again, Israel, being a violent aggressor. 1985, the Emmy 12th Daytime Award presentation. Susan Lokey lost for the 6th time. This poor lady. Like, just stop nominating her. Like, leave her alone. Poor Susan Lokey. And 1985 as well, Russian KGB officer Vitaly Yurchekino defected to the U.S. in Rome, naming U.S. citizens Ronald Pelton and Edward Lee Howard as KGB agents. Yikes. That's a win for us, though.
Comrade, why you tell out comrade?
Yeah. Snitches get stitches.
Comrades get comrade. Oh.
What else do we have? 1987. Ooh,
I'm gonna say 1986. Oh God.
Go for it.
1986. Grateful Dead's Jerry Garcia is released from hospital after a 3-week coma.
Yikes.
God, that's not good.
Yeah, imagine waking up and like nearly a month has passed. It's like, whoa, like that'll rattle your bones there.
From probably a drug overdose.
Probably. You got another 87, a crossbow.
1987 crossbow flight record, 2,005 yards, aka 1.9 meters.
No, 2,005 yards, including 1 foot 9 inches. So yards is part of the imperial system, as is foot and inches. So
set by Harry Drake in Nevada.
Damn, that's a long crossbow shot right there.
I can do these both. 1987, in New Zealand, the Maori Language Act comes into force, making TLA Maori an official language of New Zealand. Now it can be used in some legal proceedings.
Wow, that's cool.
Yes, that is. Also, 1987, Mike Tyson outpoints Tony Tucker in 12 rounds in a heavyweight Boston unification matchup in Las Vegas, first to own all 3 major belts, WBA, WBC, and IBF simultaneously.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Mike Tyson, he was...
That was 1987, that was wild, Mike.
Yeah. What else do we have here? Moving on up to 1988, Deep Rover one-man research submarine unveiled at Crater Lake in Oregon. I gotta take a look at this. Deep Rover one-man research submarine. What does that look like? Let's see here. Images. Get rid of that. Oh, okay. Well, wow, that's a Lego bubble-looking thing. Look at that. Wow. Huh. Must be fun, though, to be in that. Look at that. You're down there and collecting things. What else do we have? 1988 as well. Rush Limbaugh began his national radio show. Well, rest in peace, Mr. Limbaugh. You rushed too much. And 1990, British pop reggae band UB40 was deported from Seychelles after being arrested on suspicion of marijuana possession. So, like, did they possess marijuana? Were they under the influence? Or were they just suspected and just straight up deported? That sounds a little not cool. Mr. Sohan, what else do we have? In 1991, where is it? Oh, film and TV history here.
1991 actress Haley Lamar, age 77, is arrested for shoplifting in Florida.
Wow. You're a freaking millionaire, Hetty, and you have to shoplift? You freaking kleptomaniac. Like, I hate it when celebrities and rich people do crap like this. It's like, dude, you have the means. What are you doing? You know, like, it's not only that you have the means and you can pay for it, but you're not paying for it. Now somebody who doesn't have the means, really, the shop owner, is paying for it. So not only, you know, like, are you being a selfish idiot, but you're putting somebody, you know, who has less in a worse position. Like, these people really got to get their heads screwed on straight. What else do we have here? British, 1992. Here we go.
Okay, British, 1990. British.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 1992 British athlete Linford Christie, 32, becomes the oldest man to win an Olympic 100-meter gold medal, edging Frankie Fredericks in Barcelona.
Wow. 32 years old, he wins a gold. That's awesome.
Yeah. A 100-meter gold medal, edging.
Oh, God. Then you have another 92, just like the second one down, like the USA one. This is
also
interesting.
1992 USSR around the world air race begins in Santa Monica.
All right, I had no idea that they did that. That's pretty cool. Two rivaling superpowers. Well, Russia was pretty much dead by that point. The Soviet Union was. What?
I wonder who won.
You know what? That's a good question. Around the world race, who's the winner? Air race Olympics. Oh, what the hell? In the Tailwinds twin comic to complete the course. All right. Well, 1992 around the world. Let's see here. Does this have it? Okay, here we go. What happened in the Red Bull? Who won the first air race? This is talking about Red Bull. I don't care about Red Bull. All right. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna give this as a challenge to viewers again. Who won and what were the semantics behind this? Because that's really cool. But we just do not have the time to go there. And actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rattle off until we get into 2000. So let's see here. 1993, we got the 14-time MLB All-Star Reggie Jackson was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. Hell yeah. While that was going on, 1993 as well, England won the Women's Cricket World Cup for the first time since the inaugural event in 1973 with a 67-run victory over New Zealand at Lord's. So 20 years later, nice. 7, 8, 9, yeah. 1994, Baltimore shortstop Cal Ripken Jr. became the only second player after Lou Gehrig to appear in 2,000 consecutive MLB games with in a 1-0 win versus the Twins. All right.
Nice.
1995, Westinghouse purchased CBS TV network. Yikes. Westinghouse should really go after what they did to Tesla. 1996, George R. And I'm talking about, of course, Nikola Tesla, not the stupid car company.
I know.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the viewer. So I know you know, Sohan. I just don't want people in the comment section like, Westinghouse never bought Tesla. Elon Musk still has it. I'm wrong Tesla. Let's see here. 1996, George R. Martin published the epic fantasy novel A Game of Thrones, the first in the series, A Song of Ice and Fire. Here we go.
That's where it started.
Yep.
Decades later, it becomes a TV show adaptation.
Yep. While that was going on, M2, as I said earlier, MTV's second TV channel was launched. And they have two channels, and not one of them plays a single thing about music television. Okay. I swear to God, MTV is like the epitome of like, you know, like the best like analogy for what government, you know, does. as in like MTV music television, but doesn't play music television. Like, you know, if anybody understands where I'm coming from, I know that was a bad way to explain it. But anyway, 1999, the Petronas Towers officially opened in Kuala Lumpur as the world's tallest building by Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad at 451.9 meters or 1,483 feet tall. Yep, and they're still around. Let's see here. Mr. Soen, tell us what happened in the year 2000.
In the new millennium, year 2000, first
Patient.
Year 2000, first patient to receive the Jarvik 2000, the first total artificial heart that can maintain blood flow in addition to generating a pulse. Ooh.
Wow, I had no idea we had a fully functioning artificial heart like that. Wow, I did not know we were there yet.
No, I think that's temporary until they can get a donor.
Well, that would make sense, but still, like, that's pretty wild that we're 23 years later. I'm not now just figuring this out. Jeez, man.
Yeah, they probably had to walk around with a battery pack.
Yikes. Then the one right after that.
In 2001, Alabama Supreme Court Justice Roy Moore has a Ten Commandments monument installed in the Judiciary Building, leading to a lawsuit to have it removed and his own removed from office.
I remember when that happened, and there was a big stink over that, and rightfully so, because, you know, it's supposed to separate church and state. You know,
yeah,
and now
they did that. I think someone afterwards, like years later, constructed a statue of Baphomet.
Oh yeah, like I know that there's a statue of Vishnu, the goddess of destruction, outside of CERN. You know, the Hadron Collider.
Cool.
That's kind of concerning. But right after that, you have an agreement to talk about here.
Sure. Contract of interest 2002 in signing star linebacker Ray Lewis to a 5-year contract extension with the Baltimore Ravens gave him a $19 million signing bonus in the largest in NFL history. Ooh, nice.
Dang. We were going to get to that, actually. That was down the line, I believe. I was talking about the agreement. 2001, an agreement is reached on the position of the minority Albanian language in the Republic of Macedonia. All right. And then also Bulgaria, Cyprus, Latvia, Malta, Slovenia, and Slovakia joined the European Environment Agency. All right. And yeah, of course, like the largest NFL history, 19 million, as Sohan said here. That's pretty big. But what else do we have here? That was 2002. 2005. What?
Yeah, go ahead. Continue.
2005, Stieg Larsson's novel *The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo*. This was the first of the Millennium series. Was published posthumously in Sweden, and none of the other books.
What? That became 2 movies.
Yeah, and like here's something like I'm pretty sure that you probably would know about this, Sohan, because you know you are my pop culture guy. But the reason why there's never been any more, despite he had worked on them, was in his will, I believe, he had them destroyed, so nobody could ruin them or take his vision and run another direction with it, or whatever. Like, and as kind of an author myself, I understand where he's standing with, and that is a real tragedy. Like, it was a really good book apparently, and he died before it could be released. That's a fate a lot of artists with their respective works suffer through. But let's see here. What else? Mr. Soen, 2007.
2007, the I-35 Mississippi River Bridge spanning the Mississippi River in Minneapolis, Minnesota collapsed during the evening rush hour. Oh, that's
yikes. Horrible. I wonder how many people died. Like, let me look that up here real quick. I know we're already almost on the hour, but let's see here. 111 vehicles, 13 people died, and 145 were injured. Wow, that is not as much as I thought. Like, they got out lucky with that. Like, rush hour traffic on a bridge and only 13 deaths. Like, really lucky. You got a famous photo here, though, 2010.
2010. Where?
The famous photo, the highlighted one with Corazon and Quino.
Okay. 2010, 200 meter time, 250 photo, Masonic commemorating the life of Filipino President Corazon Aquino is unveiled near Cunero Grandstand at the Lurton Park, Manila.
So it's a 200 by 250 meter, I believe, mosaic. You know what a mosaic is, right? A compilation of a bunch of other pictures.
Yes.
Comprised of pictures of her to make a big picture of her. That's really cool. Like, actually, let me see if I can find this, because I remember last year looking this up too. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, here's so it's on the ground, the mosaic, because it's just massive. But let's see if I can find a better picture of it. Well, if anybody actually can find a better picture, because we are on the hour, I'm gonna rattle off some. I'm gonna rattle off some more here. 2012, 8 female badminton doubles players were disqualified from the 2012 Summer Olympics for attempting to manipulate the draw by throwing matches. Wow. Like, unsportsmanlike behavior. Absolutely appalling. While that was happening, Great Britain collected its first ever gold medal in women's rowing, with Heather Stanning and Helen Glover in the coxless pairs at the London Olympics. Wow, really? It's involving women and you're going to name it the coxless pairs? Wow. Like, that's, wow. 2012 as well, Typhoon Sao killed 82 people and displaced over 150,000 in the Philippines, Taiwan, and China. Yikes. 2013, Robert Mugabe continued to maintain power after his ZANU-PF party won 142 out of 210 seats in a Zimbabwean election declared neither free nor fair, as the ruling party used the state to intimidate the opposition. Yikes. Come on, Mugabe. You're not making your country look good, man. Let it go. 2014, USA and UN announced a 72-hour ceasefire between Israel and Palestine, though it quickly breaks down. I wonder who shot first. Israel. 2016, anthrax outbreak in Yamalo-Nenets, Siberia, killed 1 and affected 8 others, and also killed 2,300 reindeer. Global warming was then blamed. I remember that. That was quite a thing. Over 2,000 reindeer just like lying dead, like just an ocean of death. Horrifying to see on the news. 2018, the Swedish crown jewels were stolen in a heist from the Strangas Cathedral in Stockholm. 2019, protesting Kenyan cancer survivors in Nairobi urged their government to declare a nation disaster in a country with only 35 oncologists for 40 million people. Holy crap, that is not good.
That is not good.
Yikes.
Also, 2020, Egypt tells Elon Musk its pyramids were not built by aliens after much tweets in support of a conspiracy theory that they did.
You know, that's so silly, and it also it's like, you know, why are they taking the time to tweet him saying that they're not? Like, if I hope they're just playing around, but in all seriousness, like, it seems like that they're really trying hard to cover some stuff up, and I could really get into that. Like, that's a whole conversation. Maybe we'll talk about it in the peanut. But anyway, why don't you take these next three? 2021 Fauci.
2021 Fauci, American virologist Dr. Anthony Fauci said things are going to get worse as U.S. COVID-19 cases doubled in 10 days due to surge of Delta variant. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't lying. Things were going to get worse, and they did, but it's not around the Kung Flu. So, well, they tried to use the Kung Flu, but that's not the only weapon they used. But then 2021, Canada.
2021 Canada marks its first Emancipation Day. Slavery abolished in the British Empire in 1934.
1834.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we spoke about that earlier. Slavery abolished in the British Empire. And then we got the last one here, first grain ship in 2022.
2022 first grain ship leaves Ukrainian port of Odessa in UN brokered deal, breaking months-long Russia blockade to help alleviate global shortage.
Yeah, alleviate global shortage, like to reduce the strain and such. Yeah, a lot of history there. That shall conclude the show. Once again, you can check the underbar of the description for any links you may be interested in, including but unlimited to all things Omni Coalition. Please go check out our link tree, which has
Sogan TV on Twitch.
Yep. For your dose of Fast Events Daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 12 Mountain,
1 Central,
and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
Shohan.
And you, of course, are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, or if you're interested in some news, notable events, weather, and sports, Talkness, the Omni Coalition News Show, is coming up at 3 p.m. Pacific Time. So, yeah, whenever you see us, until then, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe.